In this video, I'll go over the latest Karabiner configuration updates I have applied, and I'll share a lot of useful tips I have discovered in this last few months. I'm also going to answer a few questions that have been asked in the previous video. So first of all, if you don't know what Karabiner is, it's a keyboard customizer for macOS. Let me show you what I mean by this. I use a lot of keymaps on macOS. So if I need to switch to the apps that I use the most, I do that with a keymap. So I'm going to press here Hyper A, you can see that on the keyboard, and the letter K, that is going to switch to my browser. If I press Hyper AY, that is going to switch to YouTube. If, for example, I press Hyper AJ, that switches to my terminal. M is for my email, D is for my password manager, and so on. So that's one of the use cases for Karabiner, at least in my specific case. Someone in the comments told me why I don't use Raycast, so I just open Raycast and type the name of the app that I want to switch to. Too many keystrokes. I prefer Karabiner because every app is one keymap away. Initially, it'll be a little bit hard because you will have to learn the keymaps for the apps that you use the most. But after a few months, you will be able to switch to the app that you need without thinking. So your navigation is going to be way faster. And I find this really useful because I use a single monitor and I keep a single application on the screen at a time. What else do I use it for? For example, my shift key is not shift like people usually do. I switch that to caps lock. So if I leave caps lock pressed, that is my shift key, as you can see right now. Caps lock is also escape. So if I press the caps lock key by itself, that is escape. It's just something that Karabiner allows me to do. What else? If I switch to the browser here, if I press the right command key, if I just tap it, notice that I can scroll up and down here, because that's the way that I configured that keymap. I'm going to show you in a minute. If I tap option by itself, notice that I get all these labels on the screen. That is the home row application. If I press Hyper R for Raycast and then type the letter Y as in YouTube, I'm going to get this pop-up and I can search for a video, for example. If you want to learn more about the labels that you just saw on the screen, you can navigate all your different applications in macOS using those labels. You can watch this video here and I explain everything there in detail. For example, if I need to search in my bookmarks, I use Hyper R for Raycast and the letter J, and that is going to bring my bookmarks in Raycast. For example, if I want to search something in Google, I press Hyper RK. I can type something in here and that is going to perform a Google search and send me to my browser. What else? If, for example, I type the control key by itself, just that control key is going to press command. If I tap it again, it's command tap. You can see the keys that I'm pressing here on the bottom right corner. If, for example, I press the right arrow key, which is down here, that is going to switch me to Kitty. This is the application that I have here on the right hand side. I don't use the right arrow, so I remapped it to do that in Karabiner. If I type control again, it's going to switch me to my previous app, which was my browser here on this side. So in this video, I'm just going to go over this keymaps that I configured in Karabiner so you can grab some inspiration for your own Karabiner config. I also have a keymap. If I want to go to my Karabiner configuration file directly, which I edit often, so I needed a keymap easily, I press Hyper TE and notice that it takes me to that file. Doesn't matter if I'm in my browser right now, for example, and if I press Hyper TE, it's going to take me there. It doesn't matter if I'm in a different tmux session. Notice that I'm in my dotfiles latest tmux session here. If I press that, just going to take me to that tmux session in that file. So first of all, the question that has been asked a lot is, why do I use TypeScript to manage my Karabiner configuration? Let me show you what the Karabiner file looks like. If we go here to this Karabiner.json file, this file contains my entire Karabiner configuration. If I go to the very bottom of this file, you're going to notice that it's 4,000 lines. You can manage your keymaps here. That's totally fine, but it's more complicated. You require way more steps and a lot more code. If I switch back to the other file that I was working on, the TypeScript file, if I scroll down, it's 1,000 lines, relatively easier to manage than the other file. If you don't have Karabiner installed, I have a video. This video is 10 months old, so this is the video that I'm creating the update for. 13 minutes. I go over how to install Karabiner, how to set it up with this TypeScript configuration. So if you haven't done that, go and watch this video and set it up. I have an article that also relates to that video, which is the one that you find here. So you'll be able to find all this in that video, including the commands that you need to run and everything. One of the biggest updates was the hyper key. I changed it. I used in the past, but if you notice, if you set your hyper key to shift, you're going to be using your pinky finger a lot. So that caused a lot of pain in my forearm. I was having issues with my forearm. That's why I also got this keyboard. And if you use Karabiner, the way that I use it, you're going to be using the hyper key a lot, like thousands of times a day for a lot of different things. So I wouldn't recommend you to keep that key. Instead, now I switched it to the right command. It's in my thumb, so it works way better. I haven't had any issues and it's really close, as you can see here on my right hand. Do you need this keyboard? No, you can use any keyboard that you have. I have a laptop computer and I use the same keymaps on the laptop. So I also use right command as my hyper key. Not as easy to get to it like on this keyboard, but it's still manageable and you get used to it. You'll notice that this right command key has two functions. When you hold it, it's going to translate command to these 4 keys: Shift, Command, Control, and Option. So that is hyper. If you press it alone, or if I press it alone, it's going to do something different. It's going to send Command, Control, Option, Shift, 6. So that's why this happens. This is the home row application, and this is the application that I use to navigate. So the only thing that I did was type command. So that's how I do that with Karabiner. If I go to the home row app, let me search for it, home row, and if I go to the clicking tab, I think it's the scrolling tab, you're going to notice that this shortcut right here is the one that gets triggered. So that's the reason why I have this here. And just like this, I have many other key maps. It would take us way too long to go over each one of them, but I'll explain the most important ones. This is how I use caps lock as shift and also escape. If you press it or if you hold it, it's going to be shift, but if you press it alone, it's going to be escape. This is another useful one. If I press right command and caps lock, it was turning on caps lock and I didn't like that. So I basically disabled it. Notice here is the configuration and the to section is empty, so it does nothing. If we scroll down here, we have right option plus caps lock to nothing. Same thing. Right option plus caps lock does nothing because of this 2 here is empty. I also have here left shift plus caps lock does nothing because I don't want it to activate caps lock. Basically, left command plus caps lock does nothing as well. What do we have here? Oh, this is really useful and really important, and it's something that I use a lot. If I press left command by itself, the key here on my left thumb is going to press command C, which I use to copy. So if you do command C a lot, this key map is going to be wonderful. So you just tap this, that's just going to copy. If you want to paste, I just tap this other key here on the right, which is left option. That must be down here somewhere. I'll let you know in a minute. If I tap shift by itself, this left shift key is going to switch to my alternate tmux session. So I'm just going to tap this here. Notice that it switched to the dotfiles latest tmux session. And if I tap it again, I'm going to go back to the previous session. I do that a lot. So that's why I created a key map for it. For this one, I'm using BetterTouchTool. Let me open it real quick. BetterTouchTool. Let's see where that is. tmux alternate session. So this is all that it does. It presses Control B and space because that's how I switch to my alternate tmux session. So Karabiner-Elements calls BetterTouchTool and BetterTouchTool just presses Control B space. So it's the same as if I do it here. I'm going to press Control B space. It switched to the alternate tmux session. So that's all that is happening there. If we keep scrolling down here, we're going to see that right shift is to mute the microphone. I'm going to type that right now. I'm just going to type this key. And as you can tell, my microphone here on the top mutes. You're going to see that switch to red and the number 0. So I'm going to tap it again. And if I untap it, the microphone is unmuted. This is useful if you do meetings, so you can mute and unmute yourself. And I like seeing if I'm muted or not. The bar that you see there at the very top is sketchybar. It's a custom menu bar in macOS. If you want to set it up, I have a video as well, and it's right here. I go over the sketchybar setup in detail. Okay, so what else? If we keep scrolling down, here is left option. If I press it by itself, it's going to send Command V, which is to paste. So copy and paste. Left control, that is Command Tab if I press it alone. Notice that I'm gonna type here left control, and it's going to switch me back to the application that I was before. Just going to quit this application, just going to close it, and I'm on my terminal. Let me go to my browser, and I'm going to press Control now, and I'm going to be switching back and forth between these 2 applications. You can do Command Tab, but I think it's way easier if you press a single key. The trick here is that Control is still going to work. So from left control to left control, this is very important so that Control still works, but if you press Control by itself, it's going to send Command Tab. This is another one that I like a lot. I like switching between the last 3 applications, and I never use these 2 arrows, left or right. So the left arrow does Command Tab Tab, so it switches to the 3rd application. Notice that I'm in Ghosty right now. I'm gonna bring up the browser as my 2nd application, and I'm going to bring YouTube as my 3rd application. Okay. So now I can be navigating between these 3 different applications. If I press this key here, notice that this is YouTube, Ghosty, Chrome, YouTube, Ghosty, Chrome, YouTube, Ghosty, Chrome. What if I just want to switch between Chrome and Ghosty, for example? Okay, so I'm in Chrome here, I'm in Ghosty, and now I'm in Chrome. Now I can continue switching between these 2 by using Control, Ghosty, Control, Ghosty, Control. Notice that I'm doing that. If I want to switch to the 3rd application, which is YouTube, I press this key again, and I go to YouTube. Control takes me back to the previous application. And what if I want to go back to Ghosty? Just tap this one. So sometimes you're not switching only between 2 apps, but you need to switch between 3. That's what this helps with a lot. So if we keep scrolling down here, this is something similar, but with tmux sessions. Instead of doing it with applications, this does it with tmux sessions. So I use the down arrow for this, which is the arrow that is here. Let me show you the list of sessions that I have open right now. I have this Karabiner.files and this Tuesday. So I will be switching between these last 3 sessions by pressing this key here. I'm going to tap it once, switch to Tuesday, switch to the dotfiles latest. Let me keep pressing it so you can see that I'm just going to be switching between these last 3 sessions. Rules, Tuesday, latest. Rules, Tuesday, playlist. And if I press shift, it's gonna switch me back to the previous session, the alternate session. I'm gonna press it again so that I can go back to my rules session. Again, this is using BetterTouchTool. Where is that? Let me bring it up real quick. Okay, so here it is, tmux third session. So here's the different key maps that I send in case you want to implement this as well. I use tmux visual mode a lot. I don't know what the name of that mode is, but it's not visual mode. It's called something else. So I just configured the up arrow, which is here. So if I type this arrow, you're going to notice that I'm in visual mode in tmux. So that's pretty useful. I hit escape and it exited out of that mode. If I type it again, I'm in tmux visual mode and I can select whatever I need to select in tmux. What is this useful for? If I'm not in a neovim file, let me switch to my home directory and I need to copy these commands. I'm just going to type that key, select here, and copy this, for example. This is my terminal, and this is not a neovim file. So that's what I use it for. I get it, not for everyone, but in case you're a heavy tmux user. Right arrow, just like I mentioned, is my sticky notes app, which is Kitty. I just type the right arrow, switches me to the right to Kitty. That is just a shell command, macOS shell command. If you want to hit enter after pasting text using your left hand, let's say that you copy with this, you paste with this key here on the right, and then you want to hit enter, I type this and this other key down here. So I roll over the two keys. So it's left option, spacebar. That is the same as pressing enter. The key is right here. Right control is just another home row shortcut. If I switch here to my browser and if I type right control, notice that I get this search box here at the very bottom. So I can search for archives and it highlighted this section here. It's just another key that I use for this application. If we keep scrolling down here, right option, this is another one, doesn't show me the search bar, just the labels. Remember that this application is not useful only in the browser. You can basically use it with any other application in macOS. If I type this here, I can navigate my system settings, basically use it with any app in macOS. What else do we have here? Okay, those are the newest ones that I shared above. These are still the same. Well, just changed a few apps, but this is the way that I navigate my different applications. Hyper-A-J is for Ghosty, Hyper-A-K is for Google Chrome. So here you can see the different applications under the A. Here you can see all of them, and here's how you can configure yours as well. I just left some comments here. T is for tmux. I use Primeagen's tmux sessionizer script. So if I want to go to my home directory in tmux, I just press Hyper-T-H. That takes me to this. I can switch between the tabs that I have here on the top, or the tmux panes as they're called. If I press Hyper-TJ, that is going to take me to my dotfiles latest tmux session. If I press Hyper-TR, that is going to take me to my daily note. Doesn't matter where I'm at. I can be in my browser. If I need to write something down in my daily note, I just press Hyper-TR. That is going to take me there. If you want to learn more about this daily note, I have a video as well. I explain everything in detail, how to set everything up. You'll be able to find it here. Now I'm going to press Hyper-TE. That is going to take me back to this file. Let's keep scrolling down here. It's just different tmux sessions that I navigate to. With Hyper-T, notice that this opens the Karabiner rules.ts file, what I just showed you right now. This is the one that triggers my daily note, Hyper-TR. Let's keep scrolling down here. E is for SSH sessions. So for example, I press Hyper-EJ. Notice that that is going to automatically SSH into this device, Docker 3. If I press Hyper-EN, it's going to parse my SSH config file, and it's just going to show me all the different hosts that I have configured there. So I can SSH to any of them, and that is going to create a tmux session. So if I open my tmux sessions, this is listed there. My Karabiner rules is listed here. So I can switch between sessions pretty easily. So all of the SSH related stuff, I have it in the E key. So you can see the different hosts here. N is what I did right now to find the different SSH devices in my SSH config file. R down here is for Raycast. I already demoed this, but if I press Hyper-RJ, I can search my bookmarks. This is for Google search, Google Drive if I want to search something. YouTube, which is the one that you see that I use often, is this one. If I want to create a reminder, some other stuff. S is for system. That's the way that I set it up. If I want to increase or decrease the volume, I press Hyper-SJ. Notice the volume decreased at the very top of the screen. If I press K, it increases. This is something that I use a lot to move to the left tab or the right tab when I'm in browsers or basically any other application. Let me switch to my browser right now, open a new tab. So if I press Hyper-SH or L, like in NeoVim or Vim to move to the left or right. What else? Brightness to change songs, play pause, close the tab. That is useful as well. Hyper-SE closes the tab. This is something that I use quite often as well. If I press Hyper-SN, it's going to connect to my AirPods. Let's say that my AirPods are being used, but they're connected to my phone. This is going to connect them to my computer. And if I press M, it's going to switch my audio source to the AirPods. This is a script that I have when I want to start a recording. I press Hyper-S8. A lot of things happen. When I want to stop a recording, I press Hyper-S9. So a lot of other things happen. happen. Like for example, notice that I'm in D&D mode right now on my computer, on my phone, everywhere. So when I stop the recording, D&D turns off. This camera goes away. And I don't remember what else happens, but a few things happen. Here are other scripts. If I want to change to a different audio source, my Mac Mini, my MacBook speakers, if I want to lock the screen, this is something that I do often. Hyper UI. I like to keep them in a single hand. That locks the screen. If I want to restart Yabai, which is something that I do often, let me, for example, move this somewhere else. And I'm going to restart Yabai. Hyper U. Oh, Yabai is restarted. Notice that my sticky notes app was moved to the position that I specified, something that I configured with Yabai. If I want to dismiss notifications, Hyper UK. I also have a video about this on how to dismiss notifications, but basically I use BetterTouchTool as well. So the only thing that I do is from this key map called BetterTouchTool, and BetterTouchTool is the one that dismisses the notifications. Here I have another key, Hyper CN, which is for the color scheme selector. Let me switch to my .files latest. I'm just gonna quit here. I'm gonna press Hyper CN. Notice that I get this color scheme selector. I'm going to search for this theme. I'm going to apply it. You're gonna notice that a lot of different things just happened. The colors changed basically everywhere. If I open NeoVim, you're gonna notice that it has like different colors. Let me switch to something else. As you can tell, even the terminal colors changed, sketchybar, everything. If I type, for example, this other theme, dark puccine, notice that the colors changed everywhere as well. Just gonna clear this and run neofetch. Colors changed as well in NeoVim, like my color scheme. This is just a bunch of bash scripts that I execute that modify the colors basically everywhere on my system. If you want to understand how I do this, I have a very detailed video in which I explain stuff. You can watch it. I still need to update the scripts, organize them in a better way. So I will eventually. But if you want to get started with this, you can go and watch this video. So what else for BetterTouchTool? This is some other keymaps that I have here. Select text and paste from my terminal. If I want to reboot my router, press Hyper DU. That is going to telnet into my home router. I know telnet is not secure, but it's a really old third world country ISP provider router. I still have my router and firewall behind it, but still sometimes I need to reboot it. So that's why I configure this. I don't use these too much, but you could select stuff if you want. Let's keep scrolling down. This is just a shell command that I use to switch my MX vertical mouse to my other computer. Since it's a multi-device mouse, I need to be switching it between two computers. So that's what I use this for. If you want to know how I switch not only my mouse, but my keyboard and also monitor between two different computers, I explain everything in detail in this video as well. So by pressing a single key, in my case, I press this key and 4, switches the 3 things to one computer. Or if I do this key and 5, switches to the other computer. So that's why I use this shell command 4. This is one computer. This is the other computer. After switching to one computer or the other, I just like to pull all my GitHub repos in both of the computers so that I can keep them synced. So that's what this shell command is for. And if we keep scrolling down here a little bit more, this is a must, HJKL. So if you're a NeoVim or Vim user, make sure that you set them up. So what are these for? If I'm in an application that is not NeoVim and I need to edit text, for example, testing new text here, and I want to go back, I don't use the arrows ever. I even have them disabled and mapped to something else. So sometimes you need to go back in programs that are not Vim or NeoVim. So that's why I configure this. So make sure you set them up. And this is just to remap my Control B key in tmux because I find it easier if I press Hyper F. Notice that tmux here switches color. So I'm in tmux command mode. And if I press S, for example, right now, I'm going to bring up my tmux sessions. So that's what that does. Hyper F is for tmux command mode in my case. I just modified it. And down here at the bottom, I just configured my function keys F6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I want them mapped to something else. And that's basically my entire Karabiner configuration file. Where can you find this file? If you go to my .files, let me show you how I close tabs. So I just press Hyper S, move to the left, press E, closed it using Karabiner, of course. If I want to search for this file, let's search here for, no, it's rules.ts, and here is the file. If you like my .files, if you like what you find here, there's a lot of information for all the different applications that I use in macOS. Make sure to give this repo a star. We're almost at 200 stars. So just go and explore my .files. I'm pretty sure that you're going to find a lot of useful information there. I've heard that there are other keyboard mappers for macOS, so I would like to find out more. If there's a different keyboard customizer that you use in macOS, let me know down in the comments. I'm open to trying something new out. There's another way of managing your Karabiner configuration using another tool, which is called Goku. Let me search for it. Goku Karabiner. It's this tool right here. So it's simple to write the configuration. I was going to try it and I was trying to look for a Karabiner.json file tool to migrate to Goku, but there is no tool that does that. So that makes it really difficult for me. As you can tell, my Karabiner configuration is quite complex and writing it in something else in a different tool would require a couple days and I don't want to invest that time right now. But if you know about other tools, let me know down in the comments. Okay, so I hope this video was useful. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments as well. I'll try to answer the best I can. I'll see you in the next video.